Good morning, good night. Today, we're bleeding the clutch slave cylinder. And I'm going to show you how to do it without getting air into the system. Which is really easy to do. Ask me how I know.
Doing it the wrong way now.
As you know, I love this Lotus. I love this car. I just love it, okay? It's the best car I've ever had. So cool. But there are things about this car that drive me crazy. And I'll explain to you why. Lotus put the clutch bleeder valve in an impossible to reach position of the car. And then they put that position close to the headers. So let's just repeat that though. The impossible to reach bleeder valve is next to the hottest part of the engine. And the original clutch line is unwrapped, meaning it gets exposed to the heat from the headers. The exhaust line boils your clutch fluid, and then you can't bleed the clutch to fix it. Lotus, you are making me crazy. I'm done. I'm doing it myself now. This is how you bleed the clutch. Guys, someone buy me a 4-post lift or 2-post lift. I'm not picky. Any amount of posts is okay with me. Oh Lord. Anyway, I'm under the car. You get the car up on jack stands, okay? Jack stand, there it is. Find a good spot. Get the car up, okay? I've got a whole video dedicated to getting this damn car in the air. And now, so I'm gonna try and show you what I'm seeing. All right, so follow it down this way. This is clearly the exhaust pipes. So I'm following it down. I'm going from the back of the car to the front. Here's the collector. There's the exhaust manifolds. And that goes up into the cat, which is shielded up here. The center line of the car, this is the transmission. These are the transmission cables, all right? So that's where we are. So now, this is the ground. Here is the clutch line that I already wrapped, and then you can see it says ASIN. That's the slave, the clutch slave right there. And so we're close. We bleed it off of the slave. All right, I'm touching the slave right now. No problem, right? No, there is a problem because you can't reach the bleeder valve because the bleeder valve is through the engine mount, which I can't get my fingers through, or around the engine mount, which is right in the way of everything, and it's up and it's literally touching the shielding. Touching the shielding. I cannot express to you how frustrating this is. Can you see where my fingers are? You can't even see. You can't even see where my fingers are. I'm blocking all the light. This is it. This is the bleeder valve. That's way up there. What? Okay, come on. Okay. It's safe if you come with me. I got the car up safely. Well, you gotta ask. You're not allowed to come under here without asking. True or not true?
Yeah, because the car might fall.
And no bumping things. So, obviously you can access your brake fluid under the hatch. Now, I had my brake fluid changed not too long ago. I had it done in March. This is a few months later. And honestly, if I put a light on here, it looks gorgeous. It honestly looks clean. It looks very yellow. It's not brown at all. So, the brake was perfect. I had no issues with brakes on track. Nothing overheated with the brakes. What I assume is that when the brakes were bled and the fluid flushed, I assume the clutch was not done at the same time, which is a shame. Or even if they did do the clutch, it boiled anyway. So regardless, I'm going to do the clutch. I think this brake fluid is still good. It's arguable you shouldn't do one without the other, but honestly, with the brake fluid looking this clean, I'm just going to bleed the clutch, see what comes out of it, and then probably leave the brakes in there. We're going to go from there. Once you do the clutch, the brakes are easy. The Motul power bleeder, model 0109, and that's what's going to fit our product. I got a brake bleeder bottle, not maybe strictly necessary. You can use like an old Gatorade bottle or something. I didn't go for the Motul one. This one was slightly cheaper, and it had a magnet piece on the back, so I thought, oh, that's fun. I'll probably hang it on the brakes if I do the brakes. And I've got some good fluid. So this is Motul RBF 600. So that's pretty good, almost the best you can get. The RBF 660 is arguably better, but it's also way more expensive. So in the kit, what you get is the power bleeder pressure. I guess we'll call this the pressure cylinder with gauge. And this is the same for really any model. And then this is what's unique. This is the actual adapter that'll go on your brake fluid reservoir. The towel is just there to protect bodywork in case there is any spillage. There really shouldn't be, but brake fluid is very caustic, so we don't want that going on the bodywork. So that comes off, shake it off. Extra careful with that. Screw this on. Do a little bit more. Let's go up to 10. We're close. Quite a bit of pumping. I have to be honest, it's more pumping than I was expecting. Not the end of the world, just good to know. There you go, that's exactly 10. Now, today I'm using the dry method. I'm just using pressure. And since there's so much clean brake fluid in the reservoir, which by the way also feeds the clutch. You guys know that, right? The reservoir for the clutch and the brakes is the same in this car. Shares one reservoir, which is why you should bleed them at the same time. It's just going to use compressed air to press that level down. Good morning, good night. This is Future Ryan. I'm here to tell you about all the mistakes I've made in this video and what led to me having a pedal that went straight to the floor. Well, throughout the video, I'm going to pop up with a little danger sign. It's going to look just like this. So when you see this sign, those are notes from me, Future Ryan. Pay attention.
Now, today I'm using the dry method. I'm just using pressure. I'm using the dry method.
This is Future Ryan again. Now that I've done this, look, I could do a dry bleed really carefully on the clutch, but you know what? And some people, they probably will do that. They prefer to do a dry bleed. Good, do it. If that's what you want to do, do it. But for me, I don't think I'm ever going to do a dry bleed on the clutch again. The tolerance is so tight of how little fluid can come out of there before it starts sucking air. I'm going to do a wet bleed on the clutch every time, so I can also do the brakes at the same time. All right, so I'm going under the car. I've got my bottle. I've got a light. Got my glasses, because I don't want brake fluid or clutch fluid in my face. And I've got an 11mm. Let's see what this does. You know how I feel about this. I gotta get that stupid thing over there, which I know I'm just not gonna do a great job of getting it on camera. I think that's it right there. Hopefully you got that on screen. And I'm gonna, there's a protective rubber cover, so I'm gonna get that off first. Okay, got it. All right, there it is. Just a little rubber cover. That's all we were after first, right? That's step one. Why is this so hard? I'm gonna try to get the tube of the collector onto it. So I'm just gonna put this in, slide it over the top. Okay, I've got the end on, and I've got my collector just kind of stuck here to the side, which is, the problem here is that I've sort of taken up now the path that my hand would take, so see, maybe I can find a better spot for that. So you're gonna be working right above yourself. So from here on out, goggles on, man. Don't mess around. You don't want this brake fluid in your eyes. Okay, we're gonna see if my flare nut wrench was the right tool. It's an 8mm. It's not an 11. I don't know where I got that information from. So if you look way up there, I got my wrench, and I got the tube, and I'm gonna bleed it. It is under pressure. I wanna make sure it's on there good. Counterclockwise. Why is it tight? It's awfully tight. Why is it so? Oh, got it. Anything coming out? There it goes. All right, I saw it. There it is. Yeah, it's a little bit black. So let's see if it cleans up to a nice yellow. I mean, it's not terrible. You can see up there, it's not terrible. It's not perfect. It's definitely brown when it pools here. We'll say the tube fits nice and tight on the bleeder valve nipple, so that's good. Very good. So over here we still have pressure. It's come down from 15 to like 10, and that's all good. So again, we're doing a dry bleed, and we have plenty in the reservoir. Yes, we do. It's just flowing nice and slow, which is perfect. That's just what I want. It's a nice little flow so I can monitor it. But obviously as it's pooling, it looks pretty burnt. So I could be done right now. You can see it up there, but I'm gonna do a double. I'm gonna do a clean. So I want to dump this here and just check to make sure it's truly clean. So far so good. I have to like literally work on top of myself. I'm holding it up. Yeah, not too bad. That kind of goes, there's a little hole in the top of this one. Just gonna essentially bleed it one more time. Still got plenty of fluid in the reservoir, so I'm not worried about that. Get my hand out of here. And what do we see? We see almost clean. Certainly better. Certainly better. It's got more of that yellow tint to it, less of the brown tint. So this is the second round. It's definitely better, but I won't say that it's perfect. Like, it's not super clean. So I do think if I were to, I don't know, I guess I could do it one more time while I have it here. And this might sound stupid, but you should definitely not leave your work light up there, which I almost did. Okay, I did notice, I'm gonna do it one last time, and I did notice that that it's getting a little bit low in the brake fluid here. So I'm gonna do this carefully. I've got a little funnel, and I've got the brake fluid. Okay, I'm just gonna put in a little bit.
Doing it the wrong way now.
Pretty good. Still some junk collected in the bottom here. Some bubbles coming out. That's not good. What the hell is there bubbles coming out? You guys see the bubbles? Nope, it got clean again. That was weird. There's bubbles coming out. Super not good. Definitely not what we want. And that is why you wear eye protection. So I would have got some right in my eye. I did get some in my mouth, and that's no fun. So I guess think about what clothes you're gonna wear. Let's see. Tell you what, that's more than I thought was going to come out, and it looks worse than I thought too. So I'm glad we did it. So I don't need to tell you, right? The rest is pretty obvious. Assembly is the opposite of disassembly. Just get everything back on gently, right? We're not trying to twist these wires. They look pretty fragile. Plus you've got that brake filler. You got to make sure you have enough. In fact, I don't think I have enough. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more because I'm low. And by the way, don't forget your light, which would be bad if you left that up there. And also, there we are, your wrench. 8mm box end. I like these 6.1s. Less range of motion, but it's a better grip. By the way, I still have a little bit of leftover of this Thermotech Cool It Express sleeve. And I'm just part number 14030, 1/2 inch to 1 inch diameter, 3 foot length. I must have used about 1.5 feet of it last time. And guess what? I got another 1.5 feet of it left, so We're gonna double bag this clutch line. We're gonna double bag it and go ahead and put another wrap of this. So I just had the bottom tray all the way up, and as I put all the bolts in and I reached for the last bolt to cinch it down, this is what I pulled out. Darn it. It's the clutch nipple cover. So the tray comes down again, and I put this back on. I guarantee you a shop ain't doing that if they found this. Okay, get me one of those bolts. We're gonna put it in by hand. You always put it in by hand first. Why do you put it in by hand?
Because you need it. A shiny one?
Doesn't matter, your choice. Dealer's choice. One by your head. Here, you want to drill it?
Okay.
Roll on your back. Then put it on. I'll help you. And pull the trigger. Great job. That was really nice. You want to do more?
Drilling more.
Okay, I'll set it up. You drill it.
Okay.
I should say drive it. I keep saying drill. It's not really the right word. Can you do it all by yourself? It's a little bit heavy. Good. How many is that?
One.
Okay. How about this?
I need a backup.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay, get it on there. Push. Great job.
Two.
That was 2. How about this one? Nicely done.
3.
You can see it's really clean fluid. So I just bled the clutch. I didn't take the extra step of bleeding the brakes because I thought we were okay. The brakes always felt good, except that when I get under here, that goes to the floor and there's absolutely no pressure on this. I can pump it 100 times and I get no resistance whatsoever. The only resistance is the spring.
Hey, Future Ryan again. So right about now in the video, I realize what I've done because I've gone through a whole work of lifting the car in the air, getting the under panel off, bleeding the clutch 3 times. We did it 3 times, putting the under panel back on, realizing I forgot the little black nipple cover, taking the panel back off, the nipple cover goes on, panel back up, dropping the car onto the ground. So proud of myself for doing something new for the first time and realizing, yeah. The clutch goes straight to the floor, and see how we fix it and why. More importantly, why. There's a really easy explanation. Once you know it, you can avoid it every time.
Zen, guys. Zen. Be zen when you mess something up. Like introducing air into your clutch lines. Okay. Cause a problem, time to fix the problem. See if I can bleed this out.
Don't make a mistake. Bleed the clutch correctly.
Okay, I'll bleed the clutch correctly. Thank you. Okay, go inside. Here I am again with the Motul power bleeder. So I showed you the dry bleed. We saw how that turned out. So we're gonna try the wet bleed. All right, this is a pint, or roughly half a liter. So we're gonna put in a liter. And the reason we're gonna do this is because if you have air in your lines, this is probably a great way to flush it out. You'll see that I'm doing a wet method this time, right? So I'm actually pushing brake fluid into the reservoir. And if you had old stuff in there, you could just get it out first. But this way you want to get started. And it's not going to be totally like a complete stream, but what it is, like there's bubbles in here, and that's fine. Once they get into the system past the reservoir, then it's not fine. So I want to wrap this around, just trying to keep it off the car. Okay. I can see it, 10 psi, 11, whatever. 11 psi, there we go. All right, so here's the deal. My clutch pedal is dead. Basically, I think I got air into the system. I think I know why. But right now I'm gonna try to bleed it and I'll tell you what I see. I'm expecting some bubbles to come out here. I saw some bubbles that kind of burst out. There's a bubble. You saw it. There's some more bubbles. All right. I think we introduced some air into the system. And when I say we, I mean me. Sorry, guys. All right, so it's clean again. I don't see any more bubbles. Oh, there's one. I don't know. I guess I got to wait until like 30 seconds go by and I don't have a bubble. If it means anything, the fluid itself looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. All right, so that's super awesome. Basically, I've already bled the clutch, but it really hasn't moved at all. It's still right at this line, which is perfect. It's really where we want it. So that's great. And we still have just under 10 psi, so that's really good. Okay, this system looks like it's working. Oh my God, this is awesome. So I just bled out that air and boom, it is like clutch is super powerful. Oh man, that's better than it ever was. Yo, could it be that easy? Am I done? I think it was a quick fix. And the solution was use the power bleeder again and drive the air out of this. Now, the reality is that I get air into the system that will now go into the brakes. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just along the line of the clutch, but I might do a safety bleed of the brakes just in case, and if there's no bubbles, I'm good. You know, that's the beauty of a bleed. All right, so the stuff here looks pretty good, and I got the air bubbles out that should have never been in there, so you know, don't put the air bubbles in there. Okay. Yay! Got it. And the good news is it looks pretty darn clean. I'm super pumped. I just checked the clutch pressure, and the clutch itself is super firm. Like, whoa, like maybe even firmer than it's ever been. The video I watched online from Motul says you basically twist this off. And now everything is going backwards, which is what we want. It's going back into, well, the extra that is going back into. Good. This is good. Okay, we got plenty of brake fluid in there, and it looks absolutely clean. It's almost clear. Barely even any yellow tint to it. And now let's check the clutch. Oh yeah, baby. Yes. Great. Feels great. Oh, I think that's it. I think we're done. No broken master cylinder. No. It's gonna be fine. The clutch pedal is firm. All it took was just bleeding it one more time. This time without bubbles. This time the right way. This time, you know, not doing it the wrong way. Yeah, learning about the car. Yo, okay. Let me be really serious about something. Alex, you're the man. Thank you for like immediately reaching out and calling and just walking me through my stupid mistake. Your experience and your just good attitude was super helpful, because I was kind of like head in hands at it for a moment, kind of like what have I done? Have I destroyed my car? And you walked me through it. You put a smile on my face, and here I am with the car fixed again. I thank you specifically, sir. Thank you, Alex, and thank you to the whole Lotus community that also came to my rescue on the Facebook page. Again, I will say it again. The Lotus community is the best community I've ever been a part of in any car community. Thank you. 1,000 thank yous. So my car now wears a special mark right here on the brake clutch reservoir. So now right down here, that's the line we're really worried about, right? We don't want it going below that, because once you're below that, you're below the clutch.
And this is what I'm talking about, because if you look in this picture right here, you can see that the brakes pull from the bottom of the reservoir, but the clutch feed is on the side, and it's about halfway down, about halfway between the maximum and the minimum. So where I was watching it and I thought, oh, I'm going slowly, I'm good. I'm only halfway to the minimum. That's exactly all it needed to start pulling air into the clutch.
So yes, there's a line down here. That's where you really get into trouble on the brakes, but we're keeping things from now on, we're keeping things above there.
Easiest way to do it. Reset the minimum. Should have been that way from the factory.
Oh, and in case you guys think I'm crazy, yes, this is from the factory like this, and that's a Lotus official zip tie, okay?
Simplify and add lightness. Yeah, man.
All in all, not too bad. It's not that hard. It's just annoying. It's a pain. I don't know why it had to be designed like this. Now that I've done it once, I'm definitely going to keep doing it myself. It's easy enough. You can then, you know, if I was going to flush the system, I would do the clutch. I would then go around to each wheel and do 2 brake bleeder nipples on each caliper. 2. There's a front and a back. Do them both for each wheel. Passenger rear, driver rear, front. You get the idea. Farthest to closest to the cylinders, to the master cylinder and the fluid reservoir. That's it. That's all.
So why did I boil the clutch fluid in the first place? Well, running a track day and having this 102 degrees Fahrenheit on the dash as the ambient temperature outside probably had something to do with it. I don't think it was actually 102, but maybe on the blacktop, yeah. I mean, it was a hot day, and I was pushing the car hard, and things got hot.
Something I will say, when the clutch went to the floor on the track day, so I'd boiled the clutch fluid, I was able to, at that moment, I was sort of downshifting from probably 4th or 5th, depending on how I'd run it. It was coming down the straight. I was real high in the RPMs on 4, or I was low in the RPMs on 5, and I was downshifting to 3rd. I wanted 3rd gear into that, so I'd clutch in, out of 5th, into 3rd, and that's when it hit the floor and stayed there. So it basically, for whatever reason, allowed me to remain in 3rd, or I could pull it into neutral, but I couldn't get it into any other gears. So I had 3rd at my disposal, which was very convenient, that it was better than nothing. So I was able to go around the track in 3rd. A lot of that track is a 3rd gear track anyway. And then get it into, you know, the paddock area where everything cooled down, and after a few presses of the clutch pedal, I was able to work up the pressure again, and then it worked fine. And it worked fine on the ride home. I didn't add any fluid. I didn't do anything. I was able to drive it all the way home normally. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, everything was fine. So the good news is, if you do boil your clutch fluid, just chill out for a while. You know, go for a walk. Maybe let the car cool down. Let yourself cool down. You know, if you can keep it in a gear and just kind of drive slow, cooling down circles safely in an area where you're not going to have to change gears. You know, like in the New Jersey Motorsports Park, there's a big paddock area. I was able to do that. Just kind of find a spot and just kind of do some slow laps, just to keep air flowing. And then I parked the car. And then about 15 minutes later, pedal pumped right up and it was good to go.
So this whole thing was a bit of a saga for me, but hopefully after flushing the clutch fluid, we're good. And I don't have this issue anymore. All right, guys. Cheers.